My name is David Strauuzz, street artist in Prague. This is Indomitus. Indomitus means essentially wild, untamed, and it has a reference to street art or my life as a graffiti artist way back when I was young. The energy, I think, is also parallel to maybe Amadeus Mozart when he was young, writing, fresh, naive, and so I'm taking inspiration from Mozart in this beautiful space at the Mozart Hotel in Prague, and combining it with some of my newly created experimental artworks.
So you mentioned about the Mozart and Mozart Prague where we are today. Is there something from the Mozart Prague that has inspired this artwork?
Yes, the inspiration that I get from Amadeus Mozart, I listen to all sorts of music, including classical, and I knew when I saw this beautiful space that combined with my street art works and this mural, I thought it'd be a great juxtaposition of styles.
Where are you from, and how does that affect your work?
I was born in Canada to parents who escaped Czechoslovakia in 1973. Since then, I believe at a very early age, I started to question and consider my heritage and cultural background. It is essentially why I paint portraits in various scales, from large scale murals to small scale paintings. It is existentialism 101. I'm right in the depth of it, searching and trying to find who I am.
And do you feel the city inspires you as an artist?
As a street artist or urban contemporary artist, the city of Prague gives me a lot of inspiration, reconnecting with the cultural heritage of this great city. I am where I should be right now in my life. I can not think of anywhere else I'd rather be.
Who are the biggest artistic influences in your life?
My biggest artistic influences would be, I would say, Chuck Close, who is a painter in New York City who painted abstract portraits. Also Robert Rauschenberg, who in New York City started finding and utilizing found objects in his artworks. On the graffiti and, of course, the current ambassador of street art, Banksy, is always somebody that is pushing the limits of what he's saying in the public domain. So somewhere between those three artists is where I find myself.
Are there any Czech artists that you particularly like?
Yes, there are several Czech artists that I find extremely inspiring, who may not fit within the street art domain, such as Krzysztof Kantera, Marek Scholanek, Zeb1. I have a gallery that focuses exclusively on street art, and the artists that we exhibit there are the ones that give me inspiration.
Tell me about your favorite medium.
My favorite medium, I would consider mixed media. I use several different techniques. I would say my primary tool is spray paint, but as I said, in Robert Rauschenberg, who inspires me, I find materials in the urban setting that is left over. I try to utilize as much as I can, recycle trash, and incorporate them into my artworks.
When is your favorite time of day to create?
My day starts usually around 9 a.m. in the studio. I would have a coffee and then immediately start when I feel the inspiration. But traditionally, I would start probably between 9:30 and 4:30, 6 days a week.
And is there any place that you find inspiration particularly, or where do you find inspiration for your work?
I find inspiration on my daily travels to my studio on the metro in Prague. I stare at people, I look at them, I get I feel their energy, and I bring that energy into my studio.
Describe how art is important to society in general.
The saying, how art is important to society, the saying goes, without art, we would be monkeys with car keys. So I think personally, and I'm biased, that art is incredibly important to us. I think that during COVID, when there was lockdown, through my gallery, I was able to present artwork to the people who were traveling to work and back. Of course, during quarantine, exhibitions weren't available, galleries were closed, museums were closed. So whether through my street art outside, my murals that I paint, or my gallery, I'm trying to provide as much inspiration to the people who I live around.
What motivates you to create this piece here?
My motivation for creating this piece was the Mozart Hotel itself. The space is so beautiful in the heart of a beautiful city. And this is exactly the reason why I came back to Czech Republic, to connect with my roots, and to absorb as much of this rich cultural history as I can. So this particular mural is not yet totally 100% finished. Amadeus behind me is maybe about 80% done. I still have a lot of texture that I want to add to it. And then on the side of the of this structure, I will paint his muse, Constanze, his wife, because I feel that often the muse in an artist's career usually stands in the background in the shade, but they are probably the most important entity in creative process.